One of the loneliest feelings in the world is not being alone. It's being surrounded by people and still feeling like no one truly sees you. Maybe you've spent years trying to fit into groups that never really felt like home. Maybe you've changed yourself to be accepted. Maybe you've stayed quiet because you were afraid of standing out. If you're a Cancer rising, Chiron moving through your 11th house isn't asking you to become more popular. It's asking you to become more authentic because the right people don't require you to become somebody else. They appreciate you for who you are. So hello, welcome in. This is Intuitive Dreams 1111. This is a channel that focuses on both astrology and tarot. So today we're talking about Chiron moving into the sign of Taurus. So when Chiron enters this house, your relationship with groups, friendships, and your hopes for the future begin to transform. So for Cancer rising, Chiron is asking you one question. Where have you been trying to fit in instead of allowing yourself to truly belong? That question becomes the guiding light of this transit. So let's talk a little bit about the 11th house and what it governs. So we're talking about friendships, social circles, networking, community, organizations, groups, technology, social media, online audiences, long-term dreams, hopes, wishes, humanitarian work, collaboration, collective goals, future planning. This is the house of your vision for tomorrow. So it asks, what are you building your future with? Or who are you building your future with? And does that future still reflect who you've become? So this transit is about healing friendship wounds. One of the most significant themes of Chiron in the 11th house is healing old friendship experiences. So perhaps you've experienced feeling excluded, maybe being misunderstood, or outgrowing friendships, maybe betrayal by friends, difficulty trusting groups, feeling like an outsider, being accepted only when you hide parts of yourself. Those experiences can quietly shape the way you approach friendships for years. Chiron helps you to recognize those past experiences don't have to define your future relationships. So part of this transit is learning the difference between fitting in and belonging. There's a powerful difference between fitting in and belonging. Fitting in often requires changing yourself. Belonging allows you to remain yourself. During this transit, you'll likely become more selective about the people you allow into your life. You'll stop asking, how can I get them to like me? And you'll begin asking, do I genuinely feel accepted here? That shift changes everything. Taurus brings stable friendships. Taurus values loyalty, consistency, and trust. As Chiron moves through Taurus, your friendships may become fewer, but much deeper. You'll likely prioritize quality over quantity, loyalty over popularity, consistency over excitement, genuine connection over social status. The people who remain in your life are likely to become lifelong friends. So this transit is about dreams begin to change. The 11th house governs long-term goals. So this transit often changes what success looks like. Dreams that once felt exciting may no longer resonate. New dreams begin to emerge during this transit. So you may ask, whose dreams have I been pursuing? Is this truly what I want? What kind of future feels meaningful to me? Chiron reminds you that challenging your dreams doesn't mean you failed. It often means you've grown. So during this transit, you may find your soul community. You may find yourself drawn towards spiritual groups, educational communities, professional organizations, possibly volunteer work, maybe creative collaborations, online communities, networking groups, mastermind circles, local organizations. These connections often feel different. You don't have to prove yourself. You simply belong. So during this transit, social media and online audiences is often part of the 11th house. So if you're creating content, building a business, or growing a YouTube channel, this transit can become incredibly significant. So at first, Chiron may expose fears like, what if nobody follows me? What if people criticize me? What if I don't fit in to my niche? As healing unfolds, you'll realize something important. You don't need millions of followers to make a meaningful impact. You need genuine connection. Ironically, authenticity often attracts the audience you've been searching for. During this transit, there's going to be collaboration instead of competition. Taurus prefers cooperation over unnecessary competition. So during the transit, you may become more interested in building friendships, not chasing attention. You may collaborate with people who share your values, encourage your growth, celebrate your success, inspire your creativity. You'll stop seeing everyone as competition. Instead, you'll recognize that meaningful collaboration often creates opportunities that competition cannot. So during this transit, humanitarian is part of the purpose. So the 11th house governs giving back to the collective. So many people are going to feel called to contribute in larger ways. So you may be involved or may become involved in charity work, community service, advocacy, teaching, mentoring, supporting meaningful causes. You'll likely realize that your personal healing allows you to help others as well. So part of this transit is going to be about healing rejection. So perhaps you experienced rejection. So maybe you weren't invited. Maybe you felt overlooked. Maybe you never felt like you belonged. So Chiron gently asks, what if rejection wasn't evidence of something that was wrong with you? What if it was simply life redirecting you towards people that truly appreciate you? That is completely different perspective. and it changes how you see your past. So during this transit, there is a shadow side or challenging side. That's with every transit. This journey may temporarily bring discomfort in friendship endings, maybe feeling isolated, perhaps outgrowing social circles, maybe disappointment with group dynamics, perhaps fear of putting yourself out there, maybe challenging long-term goals, or feeling uncertain about your future. These moments don't mean you're becoming disconnected. They often are creating space for more authentic relationships. So the gift with Chiron being in the 11th house, by the end of the transit, your greatest dream may no longer be popularity. It may just simply be peace. You'll surround yourself with people who genuinely value you. You'll stop pretending to fit in. You're going to trust your vision, and you're going to build meaningful collaborations. You'll contribute to something larger than yourself, and you'll realize that belonging begins the moment you stop abandoning your authentic self. So, a powerful transit. This is going to be a powerful transit for content creators, entrepreneurs, and visionaries. So if you're building a YouTube channel, coaching business, online community, or personal brand, this transit can completely transform your audience. Instead of trying to appeal to everyone, you'll begin speaking directly to the people you're meant to help. As a result, your audience becomes more loyal. Your community begins to become stronger. Your message becomes clearer. Your influence grows naturally because people recognize your authenticity. For many Cancer risings, this transit marks the beginning of building not just an audience, but a true community. So what are the practical ways you can work with this transit? So reject friendships that leave you feeling supported versus those that leave you feeling drained. Be open to meeting people through shared interests, classes, volunteer work, or professional groups. Release the need to be liked by everybody. Invest in relationships that are reciprocal and build on trust. Revisit your long-term goals and make sure they still reflect your current values. If you create content, focus on serving your ideal audience instead of chasing numbers. Remember that meaningful connections often develop slowly, just as Taurus prefers. So the final message here, if you're a Cancer rising, Chiron's journey through Taurus in your 11th house is one of the most rewarding social visionary transits you'll experience. The 2026 preview introduces themes surrounding friendships, community, long-term dreams, and collective purpose. When Chiron settles into Taurus in 2027, you're going to have years to build relationships and communities rooted on authenticity, loyalty, and shared values. By the time the transit is complete, you may discover your greatest achievement wasn't gaining more followers, joining the right group, or becoming widely recognized. It was about finding people, your people, the people who encourage your growth, the people who celebrate your success without jealousy, the people who remind you that you never had to change who you were. to deserve connection. Because Chiron in the 11th house teaches one of the most beautiful truths in astrology. You were never meant to fit in to every room. You were meant to find the rooms where your authentic self was welcomed, appreciated, and encouraged to shine. And when you stop chasing acceptance, you'll begin creating genuine belonging for yourself and for everyone whose life your presence touched. So if you find this type of content to be helpful and useful, please be sure to subscribe, share, a like, comment. All of those help the channel to grow. And it does get this content out to others that are looking for the exact same content. So until the next time, I love you guys. I hope you find this helpful. I will talk to you soon.